Hello. As you know, I do rideshare full time. I work for Uber and Lyft, as a contractor. I also do DoorDash, etc. Um, but mostly just giving passengers a ride. As you know, during this outbreak of the coronavirus or the COVID-19, COVID 19, there has been a heck of a lot of changes. Connecticut has closed down most of its restaurants, have to shut down after 8 p.m. Many gyms are now closed for the next couple of weeks. Um, Schools are out, so there's just a whole heck of a lot going on. And because of this crisis, there's a chance that there's going to be kind of a recession. And there's nothing that can be done about it. Nobody can be pointing fingers at anybody. This is what happens when we have capitalists trying to monopolize on everything. And so when there's a natural crisis that takes place, everyone winds up suffering, even though they had nothing to do with any of it. So anyway, there's people that are, because of this, they're being laid off. Some people are just can't go to work because maybe they work in a school or whatever. There's some people that still have to work despite all the warnings from the government that they should stay inside. And unfortunately, if they have kids, their kids are not going to school, so they can't afford for daycare or anything like that because they're far too busy working. So there's a lot of financial crisis, and it's more important that the people get the money, not Wall Street. So yeah, everyone's really broke. I've noticed I do Uber and Lyft sometimes. When I always start off with Uber, and if I don't get any riders or any kind of requests, I'll turn on my Lyft app. I notice that I get more requests from Lyft, but I don't get paid as much because Lyft has been offering discounts, and when people are broke, they're going to go with Lyft. And Lyft, unlike Uber, see, with Uber, if they offer discounts, you're still getting paid for the trip. With Lyft, if they offer discounts, you're going to get paid even less. So I kind of had to stick with Lyft because nobody's ordering Uber. Anyway, so you're not going to expect much business. I noticed a huge difference on this Monday. This weekend wasn't that bad. A lot of people are still going out drinking, why not? Alcohol kill a virus, I guess. But yeah, but this Monday was a totally different pattern. I was traveling sometimes 25 minutes, 30 minutes, just to go pick somebody up for a 5-minute trip. This is a pretty good sign that nobody can afford it. Nobody's really using rideshare right now. So you might have to spend more on gas just to earn a few dollars, which kind of makes it pointless. And that's something I'll get to in a minute. I kind of expected travelers, since nobody wants to ride on a plane because there's too many people on a plane, on trains, and on buses. So you know darn well that there's a lot of people out there that don't care anything about what's going on. So if they have a trip, they're going to take it. And if they're that, into taking their trip and they refuse to do, follow what they should be doing, then they probably have the money to take a long distance trip. I was expecting that, but no, everything was what I call a micro drive. Picking up somebody from one area and driving them 2 miles down the street and dropping them off. That's all I did yesterday. I think there was one that was about 25 minutes, which sounds long, but it was in Hartford, so it was only about 10 miles, because anything that sounds like it's a long distance trip when you're driving around in the city is actually very few miles. So I didn't get very many miles. One of the things that I did before this coronavirus even started breaking out is that I went out and bought myself a whole bag of masks. I got myself rubber gloves, mostly to work on my car, but they're medical gloves, so they're great for what's going on. But you don't really need to worry about that since you're handling your own steering wheel and you're sitting in the front. But I do really stress that you wear a mask, because there was a few times I had people coughing, wheezing, and everything in the back seat and didn't seem to want to talk. So they might have been a little dizzy. But luckily I was wearing my mask, and I do disinfect everything. I have a disinfectant spray right here that I like to use. I don't like the typical Lysol. Everyone's used to that stupid linen smell. So over at Home Depot, I got 7th generation. It's a disinfectant spray, kills 99.9, you know, all that crap. Says no rinse required, but this one is special. It's got eucalyptus, spearmint, and thyme scent. Strange combination, but a lot of people like it. Yeah, I'm sitting in my car, I know, but, and this is why I got these things up to block the light, because this camera, it's like the minute the sunlight hits it, as you can see, it looks like I got heaven sitting behind me. But when you do, if you do get your hand on some masks, especially wear them around airports, because that's where most of this is coming from. So let me see, I'm sorry, I'm taking a minute here, but you can stay out late, but it won't be much business, and you'll spend way more time with the dead miles there. I mean, you'll really be traveling. Since all businesses are closing after 8 p.m., some around 10 p.m., package stores are staying open, but only till a certain time. I don't know when, because I don't buy booze, but you know, it's best to do business during the day when people are able to go from place to place. After like 10 p.m., people are basically just going from house to house, and almost all of them, like I said earlier, are broke, so they're just going from one friend's house to another. And it's almost always in the city. I mean, right away, I turned off my apps, drove out of Hartford so I can get out of there and pick up other people from somewhere else and hopefully get a better trip. And I just ended up right back in Hartford again. It's all Hartford. And I'm sure if I was down in New Haven, it'd be all New Haven. Yeah, so I recommend driving during the day, not overnights. And they are not offering any bonuses for us drivers, none whatsoever. So apparently they want this crisis, and you know, they don't want us drivers out there driving, I guess. I don't know, but they're not offering any bonuses. So there's absolutely no incentive to be driving overnight, because you'll be driving many empty miles just to pick up somebody, and like I said, bring them over to the neighbor's house. It's completely pointless. I highly recommend, or do not recommend, driving overnight. Do not do it, okay? It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. Unless you're going to sit there and keep canceling trip after trip until you find one that you like, then you're not going to get passengers in the future because you're dropping your percentage. Just stay out during the day, go back home at night, get cleaned off, disinfect your car. I like to disinfect and spray down my car after every single passenger. I like to wear my masks around busier areas like Hartford, airports, New Haven. I haven't been down there in a while. You know, that's a topic for another day, you know, like where if you've been driving for Uber or Lyft for a long time, they tend to start abandoning you after a while, after so many miles, because they want to attract the new drivers. That's their most influential, or whatever you call them. I'm sorry, I'm losing my English right now, and I'm supposed to be an English teacher, but it's kind of like they just want to attract the new drivers, scare off the old drivers, give all the new drivers all the great and wonderful trips, make sure they get a lot of money so they keep bragging to attract other new drivers, then scare off the old drivers again. You know what I mean? It's a business model. This is what America's turned to now. So anyway, besides my ranting, that's pretty much all I have for now. I'm sure that there'll be more that I can think of later on, but I just wanted to get this up just to let other rideshare drivers know about what you can do to keep yourself and your passengers safe. Oh yeah, there was one other thing. Hand sanitizer. I buy a lot of these at Bed Bath & Beyond, I think it's called. Yeah, something like that. But I had a lot of these, and I was actually putting this in the back seat, because you see I give right behind here there's like a backseat organizer where I have potato chips, I have candy, I have cashews, almonds, and I put all kinds of snacks back there along with water. And in one of the smaller pockets I would have 3 different scents of these hand sanitizers. But you know, they're supposed to just take them out, use it, put it back in, but some of them were actually taking it one night, somebody took all 3. So I stopped doing it, and luckily I did that, because now I got my own whole bunch of hand sanitizer that I get to use myself, and if somebody needs it, I'll hand them a bottle and wait for them to give it back to me. So if you have a bunch of these little ones, See if you can get to Bed Bath & Beyond because they're really cheap. I think they're about $1.50 a bottle. And they got hordes of different scents, and they're excellent. They're the best hand sanitizers, because you know regular hand sanitizer smells like you were drinking vodka and you poured it all over yourself. So this is another one. Almost forgot it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Drive safe. See you guys soon.